Hello.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I think I just missed my introduction because when you started saying my name, I was promoted to being a panelist, and then my connection was reconnecting. So if you could just say again what you just said about me, so I know.
I just told you. I just told your name basically, and
Okay.
to introduce yourself.
Okay,
So yeah,
cool.
go ahead.
Yeah, well, good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today. I feel very honored when Marina was reaching out to me and asked if I wanted to be on this panel. Well, my name is Ngoc Anh, and I'm a songwriting graduate. I only graduated from BIMM last year. So I will say that I'm still in the beginning of building my career as a songwriter, as an artist, as a freelancer. But what I can tell you is that actually before coming to BIMM, I became a trained social worker. And during my time at BIMM, I was working as a caseworker, supporting Vietnamese families. And since graduating, I am currently sort of taking a year off to really get grounded and getting my foot into the industry and looking into the different areas that I want to go into. And so currently I'm releasing under my artist project, ANOTHER NGUYEN. And in January, I got to shoot a commercial with Sennheiser, which was a really exciting opportunity. And yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions about my time at BIMM, how everything has been ever since I graduated, and maybe what my plans are in the future. Okay, so I don't hear anyone else. I can see that there's other attendees in here, but JB or Marina, if you could say something, or does anyone have a question?
Hey, sorry, I think you're having a bit of a tech issue. One question I might have is, so how did you go about getting in touch with Sennheiser? I feel like that would be an interesting point. I feel like that's probably for sure interesting.
Okay, I'll answer that question first, and then I did see that now there were two questions that came in. So about Sennheiser, I will say I was very lucky that Nora, the head of events in BIMM, was reaching out to me. And the thing about this is, so I had graduated from BIMM, and back in August last year, I got an email from her saying, hey, Ngoc Anh, Sennheiser is looking for a singer-songwriter to talk about their work, and would you be interested in doing that? And back then, I remembered that BIMM did have collaborations before with Sennheiser, where bands were, doing their rehearsals, and Sennheiser was shooting them a little bit, and they would speak about what was it like using their in-ears. So I thought back then, okay, well, I'm not really working on my artist project right now, but I had stayed in touch with Nora. I always, talked to her about recent things. I showed her my music, just showing her, I've been up to doing this. If you want to take a look, blah, blah, blah. And so when she reached out to me, even though I was a bit thinking, I don't know if I'm good enough for this, but well, I trust Nora. She knows who I am. I have worked with her over my time at BIMM, and there's a reason for her to reach out to me. So I said yes. And from there on, she got me in touch with Christian, the director of the Sennheiser shoot. And they asked me for sending a video. And again, my thought was, I don't know if I'm good enough for this because all I have is a little live stream video. But again, all I can do is I will send them whatever I have. I will speak to them my truth, and then they will tell me what they think about it. And so, and then it just turned out that they were exactly looking for someone who was just starting out, an artist who shared their story about even doubting yourself and overcoming that, and choosing to follow your path in music. And I was really glad that from the beginning on, I could be very honest about this, and I didn't have to pretend that, okay, here I am, this is my music, blah, 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 blah. But it just all happened very organically. And I will say that it was lucky that over my time at BIMM, I just kept a good relationship with the team. And I guess also what I took away from this is that even if during your time at BIMM, something like that doesn't come up, because I do remember while I was in school, I thought, oh shit, I don't have my band together. I don't get to play the open day. I don't get to play whatever. Oh, so sad. There's so many opportunities at BIMM, but I didn't get to use them because I wasn't ready for it while I was at BIMM. But then this huge opportunity came right after I graduated. So I guess my point is that you never know when these kind of opportunities will come up. And so yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna look into the queue, the questions. Philip is asking, did you consider working as a full-time songwriter in a publishing company? Yes. So this is definitely one of the things that I'm currently working on. So after I graduated, I actually wanted to focus on building my songwriting portfolio, doing lots of sessions, and being an artist was something I wasn't sure about. I knew that I have a story to tell, but I wasn't sure about my branding, what is my sound like, and I wanted to figure things out first and thought I want to go into writing songs for other people first before following my artist path. And with the Sennheiser shoot, it just so happened that the director was telling me, hey, I would recommend you to release something, and this is a great opportunity to show what you have. And only then all of a sudden things got a bit twisted around, and I thought, okay, I'll do something like that. I'll release and then see how it goes. So now my focus has shifted a bit more towards the artist path. But as I'm preparing for my next release, I know that after that, I am going to start collaborating more with producers and other songwriters, and hopefully get in touch with music publishers. Because again, as a songwriter, I think it's very important to have multiple streams of income in the future and be very open to how you can just be involved in the music industry in general. So then Jonathan is asking, heyo, do you collaborate with specific producers or do you match songs to producers? So in my case, with the songs that I have for my artist project, I did reach out to a specific producer, Ilva, who I've known from my year at BIMM, because I knew that her sound would suit the style that I want to develop into. And I knew that she's just a really sick person to work with. So I was going for her specifically. But there are a bunch of songs that I still have in my back pocket where I know they would go more maybe into an acoustic direction, and where I will be looking for other producers where I think they could suit better than Ilva, even though she's really sick. But I know that her expertise is in pop music and like mainstream, not mainstream, but not necessarily singer-songwriter acoustic stuff. Okay. I wish I could see all of your guys' faces. It's a bit weird to be just talking to the camera and not hear any reaction or any like, okay. So next question, anonymous. Do you have any advice for BIMM students getting ready to transition out of studies? Yes, that's actually a big thing for me, because while I was in BIMM, I was actually struggling quite a lot because I was working part-time and my job was different every week. So every week I had to go to different appointments in schools, families, whatsoever. There was no consistency in the job. And it basically felt like every week with my work as well as my music projects, I was scheduling rehearsals. And you guys know how difficult it is to get a band together and to stick to those appointments. And I realized that that kind of work was taking away a lot of my focus on being able to actually be creative. And in my specific case, what I had to think about was, how can I create an environment for myself where I can really focus on music and really strategically think about building my career. So in my specific case, because I was working already and I never had the full focus time on music, I thought, okay, I'm going to start saving money and I will try to take a year off so I can really just get my foot into the industry and build little, like plant little seeds here and there. But I am aware a lot of students at BIMM maybe have been studying, full time. And after graduating, now they need to look into paying their bills. And it can get quite overwhelming now to have to be in a full-time position and then continue a music project. And the reality is you're not able to do it in the same capacity like you have before. And I think what's important to understand when you transition is to set your priorities and to really allow yourself to do one thing at a time. So when you just graduate and maybe your parents don't support you anymore or your student loan is running out, allow yourself to find a job where you think, okay, this will pay my bills. I'm not going to be super stressed out because I'm doing night shifts or because I have so much responsibility that I have no capacity to be creative anymore. Because the reality is after 40 hours of working, you'll be tired. And we can think like, oh, if I really love music, I'm just going to be doing music anyway, because then it's my true passion. Yes and no, because you will be tired. But don't let yourself get disencouraged by that. Maybe for a certain amount of time, it will be your main focus at first. Working in a job to also save up money to then be able to work on your music project. Because as you graduate from BIMM, we all want to start doing things professionally. So we also will have to pay our friends, even if they are friends and they will give us cheaper rates. We do want to financially support each other and then slowly grow until one day, hopefully a label can pay for the productions. So as you transition, I think you'll have to see, do I need to work full-time now, or is it possible to also just work part-time so I can really distinguish work and labor from creative work and music? And if possible, try to keep your bills as low as possible so that you can afford to work less and have more time. So I think especially in the beginning times, if you have any chance of having lower rent, not having any unnecessary bills, that will just give you more freedom to be able to continue to work on music. Okay. By the way, if you have any questions in between, pop them in. Or I don't know if the format allows you to also just say something, because I think, it would be really interesting also for me to hear how you guys are actually managing music and paying bills. Now, next question is from Jonathan asking, how far into the future do you plan your music career? That's also very interesting. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that would be nice if people could raise their hands. Okay, so how far do I plan my music career? That's an interesting one. Because so for me, when I decided that I was going to take a year off, I thought, okay, I'm going to take 1 year to really plan every step and like to build things slowly and safe and see where it goes. And as I said, when Sennheiser came along, and the director gave me the little, how do you say, the little kick to start releasing again, everything twisted around it. All my plans have completely changed, because before that I thought I'll take at least another year before I start considering doing the artist thing, you know. I'll have 5 songs very well produced until I start thinking about releasing, until I have it all figured out. But since that thing, I just decided, oh my God, I'm gonna release, I'll have to update this, I have to do this. And along the way, things came my way. For example, I found out that there's this application for the music board where you can ask for funding, you know, for your project, whatever you have. And 3 months ago, I didn't think that I was going to be working on my artist project, but now I've applied for funding, and I'm still waiting to hear if I will get it. But basically now, let me wind back a little bit. When the director said you should release, I said, you have a good point, but no, because I'm not ready. And if I release, I want to have a long-term strategy. And then within a day, I changed my mind and I just decided to release and figure it out along the way. And while I started doing that, I have developed a long-term strategy. So for example, what I know for now is on May 7th, I'm releasing my next single. And we have shot a music video for that. And I'm planning to do a live video on that and really get that song out there, because it has a very important message to me. It's talking about domestic violence that a friend of mine has experienced. And while I think it's just a very important topic I want to raise awareness about. So I'm focusing on that. But then I know after that, I'm going to take time off to write new songs. And then back in the fall, I want to come back and start releasing singles again. And then realistically, I know, okay, next winter, I might be releasing an EP. And then later on, there will be the gigging and possibly touring phase. So this is what I have in mind for my artist project. But then, for example, some things that have just popped up recently is that just the day before yesterday, I got a phone call from a friend, not even a friend, an acquaintance who's a photographer. And I got to know her because she was portraying Vietnamese in Germany. And we had a photo shoot last year in July. And she called me and she said, hey, currently I'm writing an application for funding from the Cultural Fund of Berlin or Germany. And we want to do a theater play in 2022 where there's only artists of Vietnamese descent. And we are looking for someone who would do, who would represent the second generation and who would be playing modern music, because they have a circus artist, a photographer, a Vietnamese woman who's from the first generation playing traditional music. And she called me to ask to join that project. And I thought, what? Yes, please. And so this is an opportunity that just came along and it's still in the application process. But if it works out, I'm going to be working with them for 6 weeks in the summer of next year, conceptualizing the theater play and then performing it 4 times in Berlin. And so that's also a future thing, I guess, but I haven't planned for it. It just came my way 2 days ago. And yeah, what else can I say? So there's little things that I think you can plan for based on occasions. But then, for example, what I also want to focus in the next months is to build my songwriting portfolio, to also build a vocal portfolio to be able, for example, to apply for voiceovers. And if Corona opens up again, I want to be able to play more at weddings, but I can't plan for that. So it's more that in the meantime, where I cannot plan, I can only make sure that my back catalog is being nurtured and that I make it ready for when things open up and I can apply for certain things. Okay, so Jonathan says, sounds like a bigger workload. Do you have someone to help you with it? Aha, good question. So right now I'm still independent and I am I'm the leader of my own artist project movement. I have help along the way though. So for example, as I started planning my releases, I would get in touch with my friend Elina, who was in music business. And every 2 weeks I would call her and say, Elina, I have so many new ideas, help me sort them out. So we have a phone call and we talk about, I just tell her all my ideas and she helps me structure them. Or she might say, for example, now with this release coming up, I am now getting in touch with a promo agency, which I've never considered before. And the reason being is because I was actually approached by an indie publisher / agency that does both together, saying, hey, we found you, we really like your music, we would like to help you. So then I told Elina about it, and she was the one pointing out, have they proven that do they have bigger artists than you that they have helped and they have proven that they're good at what they do? If not, you can also look for something that's bigger and better, because if you will invest your money, then go for something where you can be sure that it's in good hands. And so in those moments, she gives me advice and I wouldn't have considered it. I thought, oh, this indie little one from the middle of Germany, they approached me, and having some help is better than having no help, so I should go with them. But she was right to say, well, but their artist is not much bigger than I am. They're not in the genre that my music is in. So no, I can allow and believe in myself to look for something that's bigger. And yeah, that was with her. And then another help I have, so I don't know, I'm a bit older than most of BIMM students, even if you don't see it. So when I started doing the artist thing, I was just like, oh, I don't want to do Instagram, but I have to, so I'll do it. And then, funny story, my sister was telling me, hey sis, so I looked at your Instagram stories the other day and they really don't look good. I was like, I don't know, I'm just trying my best. But you know, she's my Gen Z sis, so she helps me out to create slides and make them just look better sometimes when I have more important information. So I have my sister's support there. But really, it feels like along the way, since I started throwing myself into this artist thing, a little support comes in here and there. Like doing the music video would have not been possible without a team. And maybe fun fact also, not fun fact, but great fact, I got to know the guys from the music video through Sennheiser, because I stayed in touch with the guy who was an editor from the shoot, and he used to have, he had an intern who needed to do a music video or a video, and then we got in touch, and now everything just sort of fell into place. And that's really lucky. And in the end, you can say it's all because of BIMM. Okay. I got a 15-minute reminder. We have one more question. Hi, Ngoc Anh. I noticed your music has a theme of female empowerment. I love that. Can you please talk a bit about where you get your inspiration, and if you have any tips for when you feel creatively stuck? That's a very good question. Okay, I'll have to think about that a bit. I have to read it again. Love that. Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration from? Yeah. So I used to write songs only from my very personal experiences. So if you listen to my old music from 2.5 years ago, it was basically me talking about well, the guy left me, I hate you, and come back. The problem with that was, though, that by the time I released my music, all the things the stories that I experienced when I wrote these songs, they had actually been way much in the past, and I didn't connect to them anymore. So actually, when the music came out, I was feeling, I don't know, I was not connected to it anymore, and for some reason felt like, ugh, this was in my past, and I don't know. I guess I didn't believe in the music so much back then. But then for the new songs that I have, they all feel a bit more timeless to me, because ever since I started also to produce my own music and demos, I'm focusing more on the musical aspect. So I like to improvise and play around with sounds and not even think about what I'm writing about at first. And then once I do come to the place where I start putting on words, they draw from my own experiences. But now I'm also allowing myself to be more free and add fictional stories into it. So if you listen to my first release, I Still Care, that came out in February, that story is a mix of different people I have interacted with. And I think that helped me to not be too rigid. I used to be very rigid on everything I write about has to be what I really experienced myself. But that's very limiting in a way. And what do you do when you don't have many big emotions going on? So when I used to write only from my pure emotion, that's when I was stuck for a while, because there was a time when I just didn't have any strong feelings on something where I could put it into words. But then picking up the instrument or starting to produce, it would free me a bit from having to process my emotions, in words, but I guess in music. And then, for example, the next song that I'm releasing, because I am telling the story of what my friend experienced, and since it's a song that also puts awareness to a very, like, a problem we have in society, like domestic abuse that's happening. I'm going a bit I'm taking a little big round here, but I noticed that here in this case, I'm a lot more passionate about promoting it, because it's about more than just my own personal story. So I think in general, when I write songs now, I want them, or I try to make them feel timeless, so that at any point when they come out, or when I have to release them and promote them, I can still feel passionate about them. Yeah. Okay. So I think that I answered all the questions that were in the chat. If you have any other questions, you're very welcome also to message me on Instagram or send me an email. I think Marina put my Instagram account in there already, but I will put it in again. You'll find me at ANOTHER.NGUYEN. And I don't know, there's so many things I would like to talk about, how my mindset has changed over my time at BIMM, and how I'm seeing a lot more opportunities now than I used to being in school, because now I have put myself into the practice world, practice as in professional world in a way. But yeah. What are your future plans? Any new releases we can expect? yeah, so as I said, on May 7th, so in 3 weeks from now, I'm releasing a new single, which is called My Friend. And I can tell you, I'm so excited about it because Ilva, my producer, just did such a great job at producing it. And the music video we did is going to be a one-take video. And even some friends of mine who I know from BIMM, and one of them is still a student, they are acting in this video. And I will say it's the biggest project I've ever done before, and I'm really excited to share it. And what I love about this release is that I can tell that things feel very different from 2 years ago when I released for the first time. And it was more like, okay, I'm releasing music, cool. What does it mean? And yeah, and I feel like now that time has passed, I'm more grounded. I also know what it's like, you know, to release and maybe not get traction right away. But yeah, to know that you have to be creative about ways of promoting and thinking about who could care about the song. And yeah, so May 7th is going to be my big release, and I hope you will listen to the song. And let me get my Instagram link here. Instagram. You sent the, I sent it wrong. All panelists and attendees. Okay. It's so great. I'm getting private instructions, and that's so good. I sent the link only to the panelists. That's why no one could see it. Yeah, I don't know how much time I still have left, but I'm really grateful I got to speak here. Again, I wish I could have heard your responses. Now it just feels like I've done a really long monologue. But
Well, you still have 5 minutes if you wish to speak up.
oh, okay. What can I say? I want to say thank you to the organizers of this. I think it's really cool that with this platform, you're creating a space where alumni can connect with current students. And to all of you who are still studying, I feel a bit sorry for you that you have to do this now during Corona, because I know that something that was very, very valuable for my time at BIMM was going to concerts, seeing everyone, you know, and being impressed by all the classmates who were doing cool things. And right now that's not really possible. So I bow to you for hanging in there. And what else can I say? I hope that you enjoy your time, and I hope you appreciate the new building, because we used to be in a really small one. That was kind of a joke. No, but yeah, I'm happy to have been part of BIMM and to be able to be back here. And again, if you have any more questions, message me on Instagram, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this panel talks day.
Thank you very much. For every one of you who is wondering, we're gonna record all of that, and so it will be available over the BIMM platform. So yeah, feel free to check this out later on. Well, thank you for your time. We still have a few minutes, like 2 minutes, if anyone has any questions left.
I did see Jonathan ask another question. What was your biggest eye-opener after graduating? I think my biggest eye-opener was that everyone's time will come at the right time. It sounds stupid, but I spend a lot of time during BIMM thinking, oh, I'm so behind everyone because there's so many things I didn't know, I haven't tried out. But I was struggling to just find a structure for myself and finding my voice, and also finding peace with that maybe I am older, but I still want to do music. And there is a space for me, even if it comes a bit later. And so even if now you feel like there's some opportunities that you're missing out, they might come in the future. And also the people you're around with now, as everyone grows more professional, they will create jobs. And even all your friends who are not in music right now, at some point in their lives, they will have opportunities for you that you just can't think of right now. But yeah, that's been eye-opening to me. There's a space for all of us.
That's encouraging, that's for sure.
Okay. Cool. So I hope you'll enjoy to talk to Raphael. He's a really cool guy. And yeah, hope to see you at some point. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Cool. I guess I'm just leaving now.
Awesome. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Awesome talking.
Bye.
Much.
Thank you.